key jobs that we've got to do at the Energy Saving Trust, is try and get as many measures into save carbon as soon as we can, as quick as we can. And one of the best ways of doing that is to encourage local authorities to get area-based initiatives out there, getting large numbers of insulation measures, cavity wall, loft insulation into a lot of properties quickly.
Good afternoon, Energy Saving Trust. Holly speaking. How can I help? Okay, Mr. Smith. We at the Energy Saving Trust are here mainly to give free and impartial advice on saving energy in the home.
There are literally 30, 40, 50 different schemes out there that can help customers, but they all have different qualifying criteria. They all relate to different postcode areas, ward areas, political boundary areas. So it's a bit of a minefield understanding what is available for people dependent upon where they live and their own personal circumstances. And in the early days when the advice centre was opened, advisors were finding it very difficult to understand all the different schemes, their complexity, their qualifying criteria, and making sure we refer customers to the right scheme. First of all, we had to build some really strong relationships with the 9 local authority areas to really get to grips with and understand all the different grant aid schemes and assistance that was out there. What we discovered was that none of this information was actually documented, so we built strong relationships and we then documented all of the different schemes. We then realised how complex it was and decided that what we needed was actually an IT solution to help us point the advisors to the right help and assistance which would be available. So we set about thinking about what IT solution could we build.
The area-based initiative that we operated in Crofton fitted into our priorities because at that time we had the low carbon communities scheme and that helped us address areas of high fuel poverty, whereas the scheme that we operated in Crofton helped to complement that because it helped us to target a more affluent area. It helped us to deliver high levels of insulation through our existing grant schemes. And it also helped us to refer a lot of households for complementary assistance such as benefit checks and fire safety advice as well.
Yes.
Hello, I'm from the Energy Saving Trust. We're here to give free and impartial advice on energy savings, and we've teamed up with the council. We're having a campaign in Crofton. And really what we're trying to do is to get you insulated. So it's backed by the government and we're talking principally about loft insulation and cavity wall insulation.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of other tips I can give you.
Yeah.
Is it alright to come in for a couple of minutes?
Certainly.
A letter explaining really what's going on in Crofton. Can I just ask you, how old is your house? Have you had your cavity walls filled?
Yes.
You have? And it's your own house?
Yes.
One of the many successful projects that has operated between the City of York Council and the local Energy Saving Trust office has been the York area-based approach towards home insulation, which is very similar to the successful project in Crofton, really having the expertise of the Energy Saving Trust on our doorstep that made sure that this did achieve its objectives. The project's been hugely successful with 2,500 doors knocked on. This has resulted in 750 people contacting the local Energy Saving Trust office, with 500 of those due to receive loft or cavity wall insulation. And already this has resulted in the saving of over 1,000 tonnes of carbon dioxide from the 110 houses that have benefited from this, with 400 in the pipeline.
Your thermostat's just like mine at home actually. I see it's set at 30 degrees.
Yeah.
Normally we would recommend 21. It's all about saving your money, saving energy and reducing the carbon footprint. And if everybody does a little bit, jobs are good.
We worked very closely with the STAC and we worked together to select the area, an area that had high potential for installing insulation. The Crofton area-based initiative was a huge success. It helped generate over 500 referrals to our grant schemes, and I think it helped develop a higher profile for not only the council but also the STAC at the same time. So the success that we achieved in Crofton means that we're already looking at rolling it out to a second area later on this year.
It was thanks to the Energy Savings Trust that we were able to organise a conference for the industry, for the microgeneration industry, for Yorkshire and Humber. And this was held in York in February. And the Energy Savings Trust did a marvellous job of organising all of that needed to be done. The day for me was just an incredible buzz. The whole room was buzzing actually, with delegates attending from all quarters of microgeneration industry and energy related companies. We also were lucky to have Rosie Winterton, MP, delivering the keynote address.
I want our region to move forward on this because not only is climate change hugely important, I also think there are big opportunities in terms of our regional economy if we get this agenda right. And I want to see people in this region taking advantage of the schemes on offer by the government, but also using their inventive powers as well to think about the future.
Question and answer sessions, seminars, sharing best practice.
You know, the market for this, the number of people who could benefit from this is absolutely massive. Every one of the 26 million households in the country, every one of the 2.1 million businesses in the country could benefit from tariffs one way or another.
I personally managed lots and lots of networking and meeting new people, which has been incredible for my company as well as for the partnership in general. And we recruited new members to the partnership through that event. I can't praise them highly enough for how they organised that, and it was fantastic. In the evening we had the awards event, which was a brilliant idea because we managed to reward people in the industry for their installations, for their innovation. Paul Hudson came from BBC to present the awards.
So there are elements that we don't understand, but the main thrust is that as long as we keep pushing greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, global warming will continue and the climate will change. So microgeneration has got to be the way forward.
And the winners are Mr. Frank and David Johnson of Sheffield for probably the biggest PV array in the UK. Okay.